Welcome to the Vision and Purpose podcast, where we dive deep into the lives of incredible people who have made a mark on the world. Join us as we explore the journeys, stories, and passions of individuals who have achieved extraordinary feats, shattered barriers, and inspired us all. And now your host, Dr. Sharon H. Porter. Hello and welcome to the Vision and Purpose podcast. I am Dr. Sharon H. Porter, your host, and today we are excited to feature author, serial entrepreneur, and member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, Mr. Darrius Jerome Gourdine. Darrius, how are you?
What's going on?
Oh my goodness. I am just so excited to have this opportunity to just sit and chat with you. You are doing like so much, right?
I'm not doing enough. I'm trying to be like
So
you.
not doing enough. Oh my goodness. I
Not doing
tell
enough.
you. Now, I introduce you as an author. I introduce you as a serial entrepreneur, a member of Alpha Phi Alpha, but please take this time to let our audience know a little more about who you are and who you are as an entrepreneur.
Well, I do own several businesses. At my core, I'm a storyteller. So if you've ever heard me speak before, I tell stories. And so my father was a storyteller. My grandfather was a storyteller. So I kind of took that and I figured out if I take my stories and type them up, people will give me money for them. Who knew? So I basically started doing books. And at this point, I'm 16 books in.
Wow.
Which is great. My most popular book, I took the Alpha Phi Alpha history book and I turned it into a novel series. And so that was in 2006. And since then I've done, it's a 3-part series and I just did part 4. So it's a 4-part series. And so brothers have been buying those books for however long that is, since 2006. And I actually got the idea from a Delta, one of your sorors,
Yeah.
because she was my college sweetheart and I was in her dorm room back in 1991.
Wow.
And I saw a book on her shelf called In Search of Sisterhood.
Yes.
And I said, "Oh, what's that?" And she said, "It's an unofficial history of Delta Sigma Theta." And I said, "What do you mean an unofficial history?" She said, "Well, this woman wrote this book. We have our history book, and then we have this book." I said, "Well, where'd you get it from?" She said, "My mom bought it for me. Her mom was a Delta." I said, "So your mom knew to get you this book?" She said, "Every Delta has this book." I said, "Every Delta has this book?" And she was like, "Yeah, we all have it." I said, "I'm going to write a book that every Alpha has."
Amazing.
And she was like, "Whatever." She was like, "Whatever." So when the book came out in 2006 at our centennial, I called her because we still friends all over the years. And I said, "Remember the time I told you I was going to do what every Alpha has? It just came out." And so now the guy that she's with now is an Alpha.
Oh my goodness.
And I told her, I said, "Do me a favor. Go in the house, go to his bookshelf, and see if you see my books."
Wow.
And he has all of my books on his bookshelf because I made a declaration in 1991 that every Alpha would have my books. And so now 40,000 books sold. How many years is that? Almost 20 years, 18 years in the game. And I've done other books, but that's my most popular. So that's one side of what I do.
Wow.
The other thing that I do, which I know you're curious about, is South Africa. I do trips to South Africa. I just got back. I'm still tan. I'm dark as a mug. I'm still dark. But I just got back. My largest group that I've taken, I took 20 people over there, and we had an amazing time. I mean, it is absolutely amazing. So that's another thing that I do. So I have my hands in several things.
You do.
But most of all, I enjoy life. I laugh a lot. I really, really, really enjoy waking up and doing whatever it is I'm doing today. I'm wearing this sweater today because I got a phone call last night to go to a high school near me because they had an HBCU college fair and no one represent Howard.
Oh,
I was like, "What?" Well, I am there. So
I love it.
I wake up in the morning and do, I just go. So that's a little bit of that.
Oh my goodness. I tell you, and we're definitely going to get into the South Africa trip. But I really want to know, like, what was the inspiration for you to really have this determination? Because your work ethic, your mentality is like none other, like hands down. And so where did this come from?
So my father has an incredible work ethic. Before he retired, and I watched him growing up. incredible work ethic. And so he started driving a bus in 1967 in New Jersey, where I'm from. New Jersey Transit is where he worked. And he retired in 2007. And when he started off driving the bus in 67, when he retired, he was the highest ranking African American in the entire company. The only person he had to answer to was the president of the bus company or the governor of New Jersey. Everyone else answered to him. And when he retired, he had this big retirement party. All these people came, and a lot of the guys who spoke at the retirement party, giving some good words about him, were white guys, and they were bus drivers. And they said, Jimmy, I was driving a bus with you. I'm still driving a bus now. And when you started, I didn't like you because you were a black guy.
Wow.
And I did things to undermine you. You probably knew, but you never said anything. You never treated us any differently. And I got to say, man, to all each other, I respect you. So my father has an incredible work ethic.
Wow.
I talked to him a couple of days ago, and he told me that at his church where he goes in Delaware, where he lives now, they did a spiritual personality assessment, and it assessed him for being a workaholic. And I laughed because that's what he was. And he was like, he said, I wish I wasn't like that. I said, why? He said, because there were times where I just didn't enjoy myself. I worked so much to provide for my family that I really didn't enjoy all the times. I said, give me an example. So he told me that on September 11th, when the tragedy happened in New York, he got a call from the governor. And the governor said, I need you to figure out how to get the people who are trapped in New York back to New Jersey. Those who live in New Jersey have to get home.
Wow.
The buses were all canceled. The trains were all shut down. There were no boats going across. But you got 29 minutes to figure out how to get these folks back. And he was like, I don't know why the governor said 29 minutes instead of 30, but nonetheless, I had 29 minutes. So he thought about it. He prayed about it. And he thought about it. He said, I remember when I was dating your mom, we used to go to a restaurant in Weehawken. And it was on the water, very pretty restaurant. And they had tugboats that you can get in at the restaurant and go across to the other side. So he called the restaurant and said, do you guys still have the tugboats? He said, yes. So he rented every tugboat he can find to go to New York, get the people, put them on tugboats, bring them back to the Meadowlands in New Jersey. And then he got every bus he could find, whether it was transit, whether it was Greyhound, it was Peter Pan, private companies, to meet at the Meadowlands.
Wow.
Let the folks get on the buses according to what city they lived in for free, drive them to their city, and then transit took them home.
Wow.
It took him 4 days.
Wow.
He said, I slept in the office for 4 days. Your mom was bringing me food at the office. I said, that's not workaholic. You saved their lives, and nobody even knows your name. Like, that's where I get it from.
That's amazing.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's where I get it from.
And what's his name? Say his name.
His name is James Gourdine. He's my father.
Wow.
Still living. I just sat with him. Today's Tuesday. That was last Saturday.
Wow.
I talked to him Saturday. And so that's his work ethic, right?
Wow.
That's his work ethic. He was an Army man. I did Army because of him. So I can't, how folks sleep in on Saturdays and they lay in the bed. I can't.
Can't do it.
I get antsy. I can't lay around. I got to do something.
Wow.
And, I really believe in enjoying myself because life is long if you're in jail, but it's short if you're free.
Absolutely.
And I'm not trying to have any regrets. I'm not trying to be miserable. I'm enjoying this, that God gave me this talent and creates. I'm very creative. You know what I mean? And so I'm trying to do, my hand is on the plow.
Wow.
I ain't trying to retire no time soon.
Wow.
And I'm really enjoying myself. So I get it from him, but I'm hoping that my son, he's 12 years old, but look, this is for you to be able to take this and keep running with it. You know what I mean? So,
oh my goodness. Wow, wow, wow. So amazing. So how did South Africa begin? When did you start and why did you start?
So I used to be in a group called Step Africa. They're based in DC and they are fraternity, sorority, stepping, and African dance. And so when I joined the group, they weren't really doing too much African dance, just the South African gumboot dance, which the South African miners used to do. These guys would wear these boots to go digging for diamonds in the mines. And a lot of times they were from different parts of Africa, so they didn't speak the same language. So they would use the boots as a means to communicate by hitting the boots and making sounds and rhythms. That became an actual dance. And so that dance was a part of Step Africa. So I joined the group. I used to be a stepper in college, and I was into that whole thing. So I joined the group, and then the group would go to South Africa every year to perform and teach workshops to the children of Soweto. Well, the year that I joined the group, they didn't go to Africa. The Africans came to America. So the South Africans came to DC, and we did a big performance at the Kennedy Center. Had a whole week of shows. It was awesome. It was the Soweto Dance Theater and Step Africa. So my first introduction to the culture was them coming to us. Well, the next year, which was 2000, I went there for the first time. So I fly to South Africa with Step Africa, and we land at the airport in Johannesburg. And I'm just like, wow, I'm in the motherland. Oh my gosh. And we're driving through the town, and we're going to our hotel where we stayed at and everything. And then every day we go to Soweto, and maybe all these hundreds of children that I was teaching how to step. And these kids would pick it up like that. I mean, they had that rhythm, and they would teach us their dances and Zulu and different things that I was learning. And I fell in love with the culture.
Wow.
And so I stayed an extra week. I was like, I'm not even going home. I'm staying. So I stayed an extra week. I went to Durban. Loved Durban. We were on our way to Durban, and we were eating at a restaurant outdoors. So we're eating now, mind you, our winter is their summer. So it's December, but it's 80 degrees, right?
Wow.
So we're sitting outside having breakfast, and a giraffe walked by.
Oh my!
I was like, what kind of paradise is this?
I love it.
So my first 3 trips going over there, my first 3 trips were with Step Africa. I was performing. So once I finished performing, I set up my own trip for the first time because I was in the singles ministry at my church. And I was like, y'all want to go to Africa? Because at that point, I've been a couple times. I knew the tour guides. I kind of could put a trip together. So I took about 10 people, went over there, and it was cool. Wow. And so I did that a couple, once or twice, 2, 3 times, whatever. And then I was done. I had been about 5 or 6 times. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I've had a great time here. And I was really done. And then in 2019, one of the guys in the Facebook group that you and I are in for the Spring 90 for the fraternities and sororities, we were approaching our 30th anniversary of being in our organizations. And one of the Kappas said, hey, Darrius, what's the plan for our 30th? I know you got a big plan set up. Girl, I had nothing planned. And so as a joke, I was like, y'all want to go to Africa? And I wasn't even being serious.
Wow.
And 80-something people said yes.
Wow.
So I was like, well, look, if y'all are serious, I've done these trips before. I can do it again. And they were like, yeah, this is a bucket list trip. We would love to go to Africa. So I set it up. But now, when I set that trip up, I hadn't been there in 8 years. I had been there in 2008. It's now 2020. So since I had been there, they put luxury hotels up there, all these nice accommodations in these places, which I had never even seen before. So when I went in 2020, we stayed at a luxury hotel, 5-star. And I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm back doing these trips because this hotel is off the chain. And then COVID hit. So when COVID hit, everything shut down and I hadn't done it. And so there was folks who were waiting for me to do another trip because they saw the last trip, the pictures and the videos, and they were like, the next trip you do, I'm going. And so the next trip was just this past January. I had 20 people, 11 of which were Spring 90 from the group.
Wow, amazing.
And we had an amazing time. And so I'm going back in July. I have 12 going in July, of which 4 are Spring 90. I'm bringing my son in July. So I'm looking forward to that. So at this point, I'm trying to do it every year if I have enough interest. But I really want to bring over as many African Americans as I can. Because most African Americans don't know what actually took place in South Africa. They may have heard of apartheid. I'm sure they've heard of Nelson Mandela, but they don't know what he did. And when you go over there and you learn it, you laugh, you cry, you're in disbelief, you're in shock, and you're in amazement of this country. It's like, most people have a huge misconception of what Africa actually is. Because, white people have told us what it is, and
Absolutely.
we just believed it. And when I take folks over there, I tell them it's a nice hotel. I tell them to Google it. You can YouTube it. I give them the name of the hotel, and they may go look, they may not. But when we walk into that lobby for the first time, I purposely walk in before the group and turn around and see their faces. Just to
Wow.
see the splendor. And it's almost like in your mind, you're like, oh my God, this is Africa?
Wow.
And it's like, yes, it is.
Unbelievable.
When I'm staying in a hut, we're not going to hunt for our food. This is Africa. And then every single day, we do a different activity. Every day. So the only time we're not on activities when we're traveling between Cape Town and Johannesburg, and when we're, doing our own personal shopping or whatever. But the trip was amazing. It's
Wow.
absolutely. I've been 8 times.
So the one in July is you're already solidified who's going, or are people still able to go?
If you want to go now, you need to let me know like ASAP. And I
Okay, so
try to
you all do all that months ahead.
Oh yeah, because you got to book the rooms, got to get the flights, and all that's taken care of. Like when you register for my trip, I take care of everything. Your flight, the flight from here to Cape Town, the flight from Cape Town to Johannesburg, the flight back to Cape Town, and the flight back to the US, all the hotels, every daily activity, I take care of all of that. All the reservations, all the accommodations, all you got to pay for out of your pocket other than the trip is your own food and your own souvenirs. But everything else, I got to take care of. So it takes months to set up rooms and flights. And I want to sit next to her and all that has to happen. So all that takes a lot of time. And I want to give folks enough time to make their payments because, it's not an inexpensive experience. So if you need a year and a half, cool. Register now for 2026.
That's amazing. So now, do people fly from where they are, or do they have to come in one central location?
We all fly together out of Dulles.
Okay.
So you get to Virginia on your own. Well, in this case, we could fly out of New York or Atlanta or Dulles. I go for the best rate. So the last couple times that I've been, it's been Dulles. And I always tell people, try to get to Dulles the day before we leave. Because you don't want to be traveling from wherever you are to Dulles the same day you're flying to Africa. Because if you get delayed on that thing, who knows?
Exactly.
And if you miss that, it's only one flight per day going to Cape Town. You miss that flight, you're going to miss the whole first day of activities, which you paid for. So we all meet the day before. If you want to go to dinner together, that's cool. If not, whatever. And then we meet at the airport. And a lot of times when we meet at the airport, it's my first time actually meeting these folks. We've been talking for years.
Absolutely.
And we meet at the airport for the first time.
This is just so exciting. This is really exciting. And I'm just, you are just so multifaceted, first of all. You do so many things and so many things well. So for 2025, are you doing one for 2025?
Yes. So there's one for January 2025. The only problem with that one is the final payment is due in August.
Oh, so you've already started. So that's why you said 2026.
Correct. Because a lot of folks say, I'm going to go next year. I'm like, okay, great. But final payment is due in August. And they say, ooh, it's kind of tight. No problem. You can go January 2026. That gives you a whole year and a half.
I get it.
The payments. You know what I mean? So it's easier for your budget to, especially if it's a couple.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, you're paying for 2 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that could get expensive. So take a whole year and a half. Because before you know it, it's going to be here. I mean, time flies.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, my mind is blown. I love it. I love it. So in reality, you are looking now for 2026. So anyone who's interested right now should be looking to go in 2026. You get them set up on the payment plan. Get to Dulles or wherever the location will be in 2026, and they're set. I love this. Love this, and this is open up to anyone who wants to be a part of this.
Anyone that wants to go is fine with me. I want to expose this culture, these people, the music, the food, the dance.
Yes.
It's the whole thing. And 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 we stay in very nice and very safe areas, but I take you to the poverty areas too. I
Mm-hmm.
want you to get the whole gambit. It's a balance, right?
Mm.
So we stay
Wow.
in these very swanky, ritzy neighborhood, place, but then I take you to an area where there's no running water, there's no electricity,
Wow.
but these kids are so happy. They're running around. They want to hug you. They want to get a picture with you. These kids, little 8, 9, 10-year-old kids, because they don't know that they're poor. They have no idea that they're poor, and they eat once a day, but they don't know any better. See, in the United States, we're a very gluttonous and greedy society. They're not. So they have no idea they're suffering from poverty, and they're happy. They don't ask you for any money. They're happy. And it almost breaks your heart because it's like, I want to change your condition, but how much can one person do? So
Right.
my thing is, what I want to do is at least share this with as many as possible,
Mm-hmm.
but you will know, wow, I had no idea that this even happened. Because, the civil rights movement in this country was like in the 60s. All over there, it was in the 90s. It just
It
happened.
just happened. Exactly.
It just happened. So,
Wow.
they're still feeling the effects we're still feeling the effects in the United States. They're really still feeling the effects there. But it's a whole thing that people need to learn. And so I want to bring as many Black people or people in general, they gotta be Black,
Mm-hmm.
to the country to learn what happened and why it's important for us to hold on to that part of our history.
Wow, I love it. Now, is there a give back component to it? Like, do you all do anything in service um as one of the activities?
So what we do, we go to Soweto, and whenever we do that, there's an opportunity to give money or to give clothes or whatever you want to give. I'm going to make that a official part of what I do because right now
Mhm.
it's kind of voluntary,
Okay.
but I want to create some kind of a service project because if you send clothes over there, you never know what's going to happen to the clothes. You don't know.
Right.
I want to give it to people who need it, right?
Yes.
So if I take it with me, I control who gets this big box of shoes or whatever, right? So we're gonna make that a part of our. Cause I'm trying to by trial and error get the perfect trip,
Mm.
right? Like take this out, put this in, kind of thing. Like the last trip we just did, we went to this place that I'd never been to before. 'Cause I wanted to see what it was like. If I didn't like it, scratch it. If I like it,
Mm-hmm.
keep it. So there have been things that I've taken out. There have been things that I've added. But one thing I want to solidify is that component right there. Because right now we're just kind of voluntarily doing it. But I want to make it a part like, okay, if you go on my trip, bring some extra clothes that you're not going to wear anymore. Bring some
Absolutely.
shoes that you know you're not going to wear. You ain't wore that outfit in 2 years. You ain't wear that thing no more. Get an
Wow.
extra suitcase. Bring that stuff over there because these folks need it way more than you do. You
Wow.
got your closet's overflowing. They didn't even got a closet. So let's go. Let's bring some things over there to help them out.
Darius, I absolutely love this. I really do, and I'm actually glad that we're doing this because I'm definitely going to be pushing for you for 2026, so that it does allow people to comfortably make those payments and be ready to go. Because I tell you, the videos, the pictures, and you do a great job with sharing the trip as real time.
Mhm.
And I'm always looking for, okay, what are you doing now? Where are you going? And I love it. And so I just say, congratulations on this because it is the start of something beautiful. I know you've been doing it for some time now, but I really feel like this is the beginning of something amazing that's going to come from this.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I believe
Yeah.
that too. I really do. And the people
Yes.
that have gone, they all have amazing testimonies of how much the experience was. So I've been very blessed and fortunate to have this experience. I actually thank the director of Step Africa. I said, man, if it
Mm,
wasn't for you, I never would have gone. I never had a desire to go to South Africa. I
wow.
might have gone to Egypt because I'm an alpha. You go to Egypt, take a picture in
Right,
front of the thing.
right.
But I never really had a desire to go to Johannesburg or go to Cape Town or go to Pretoria or go to Durban or go to Bafokeng. And now it's a part of my life now. It's a part of my culture. And so if it wasn't for me being in the group, I never would have had that experience. And so I had to thank him. Like, dude,
Wow.
thank you for exposing me to this. And now I'm trying to expose as many as I can.
Others. I
Just share
love
it.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. I tell you, please just share where people can connect with you. Where can they follow you on social media, and how can they find out more about the trips to South Africa?
So my social media is all wide open. It's all my full name, Darrius Jerome Gourdine. That's Facebook, that's Twitter, that's X, that's Instagram. So hit me up. My inbox is wide open. Shoot me an inbox. I carry my phone on at all times. So if you inbox me, I will respond. I can send you a packet that has our full itinerary of the trip. So you literally see what we do every single day. I can send you all the pricing. I can send you the suggested payment plan because you can pay however you like. But I try to make it easy, right? So whatever people need to get information, I'm wide open. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever, just Darrius Jerome Gourdine, 2 R's in Darrius, like Rolls Royce, and you will find me. And you can Google me because all my books are on Google. You can find me. I'm
Yeah.
easy to find. I'm easy to find. So yeah, so reach out, hit me up. I would love to answer questions about it, share some pictures, share some videos, and I never share it all. I don't want to show everything because then there's no surprise, right?
Right.
So I kind of give you a taste and get your little, little
Mm-hmm.
tease and get you eager to want to go. But I never show all my pictures, all the videos that I take because I don't want to give it all away,
I love
right?
it.
The country has so much to offer.
Wow.
I don't want to give it all away. So, but definitely reach out. Let me know if you're interested, and I will share all as much as I can.
I love it. Darrius, thank you so much for taking the time out and giving us this glimpse of this wonderful trip that now I know that it's going to be annual. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. You are so awesome, Sharon. You are like the bomb. You're the bomb, girl. We have never met.
I know, but you know what? It's coming, especially now that I know you come up to Dulles at least the day before you go to South Africa. We've got to have dinner.
Gotta have dinner. Book it. I will be there.
I love it. I love it. Guys, this has been Darrius Jerome Gourdine. I tell you, author, serial entrepreneur, and traveler to South Africa. Definitely, if you want to be a part of this, please reach out to him because it sounds like it is truly life-changing. And so we thank you. We thank our viewers, our listeners. We thank you for joining us. We want you to explore the depths of your vision and purpose. Just remember, your vision is the compass that guides you through life. Your purpose is the fuel that propels you forward. Keep dreaming, keep believing, and keep pursuing your purpose. Every step you take brings you closer to that fulfillment of that purpose. I'm your host, Dr. Sharon H. Porter, and until next time, live life with vision and purpose. Thank you for joining another episode of Vision and Purpose Podcast. Please share, like, and subscribe. Please join us every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time.